My name is Jake Coles, and I attended New College Worcester between the years of 2012 and 2017. Well, I lost my sight at the age of 11 years old. I went from completely sighted, full 20/20 vision, to going to B1 completely blind. Obviously, I was a bit at loss with what to do with regards to education. I went to a mainstream school, and my experience was good because I'm quite academically well-minded, but the accessibility of the schooling was not the best. I had to sit out on lessons such as the geography of film, for example. I was told to go to another room and research the next topic we were going to study, which was quite demoralising in itself, because obviously I wanted to be involved with the classwork and be involved with the social side of education per se. Now, obviously, in the mainstream school, I couldn't access any sport, any mobility training, or anything like that because I had no one that was qualified to teach me either. So I was basically doing my work, going home, and just living, not to my best, if I'm honest. Now, I encountered New College Worcester when I attended, I think it was a PE training day where teachers were trained how to teach visually impaired people PE. And beforehand, before I lost my sight, I was a keen football player. I used to be a very good goalkeeper back in the day, and that was the first time I kicked football in 5 years. And obviously, that was incredibly important to me. And I just loved the way I was treated there, like I was a valued equal to everyone that was being taught there as well, because obviously when you're in a mainstream college you feel as if you're at a disadvantage to everybody else, and I found that it was definitely a case of mistaken identity there, because obviously I went to New College and was treated incredibly well. Well, what New College Worcester did differently to my mainstream setting was just the inclusivity, the community feel that you got that as soon as you walked in. I mean, I walked into my form room, I was guided there obviously because I didn't know the layout of the school at all. I went down the main corridor, squared off at Australia. Obviously, that's something that only New College Worcester students will know. But I went up those stairs, walked into my form room, and I was greeted by the most lovely form tutor. And she literally took the time to walk me around the form room, ensure that I was familiar with where my shelf was, for example, where my seat was in the room. And that happened in every single class that I went to. Now, obviously, there's such an emphasis on including you as a student, and frankly the classes there at New College were about between 1 to 8, certainly during my time anyway, and you get so much more teacher student interactions than you would in a class of 30 at a mainstream college. Now, obviously, another thing that New College Worcester did incredibly differently was sports. I was incredibly sports led before I lost my sight, because obviously I had a brain tumour. That's how I lost my sight to start off with. And obviously because of that, I had lots of time on the hospital bed and basically lost all my muscle tone that I gained through being quite an active lad. Obviously, it is my way back into sports, my way back into being active, being independent for myself. And I encountered goalball, which I now absolutely love and I still play to this day. But also, they gave me in-depth teaching about how to live for myself, about how to wash, how to cook, how to clean, how to it's called ILS, Independent Living Skills. But that was what really set me up for living independently as I do now. So yeah, it really can't be told about how much it benefited me going to New College Worcester. But obviously, they're just so much more inclusive than a mainstream college, and there's just so much more one-to-one teacher time than at mainstream college as well. I remember one of my first lessons was English, and they said, "All right, what format do you want your work in, Jake?" And it's like, I can choose a format, really? Wow! And it's just wonderful to have that more student-focused format within your education itself. Now, obviously, I encountered sports in New College, which was incredibly valuable to me personally, because I got to kick a football for the first time, I got to run for the first time, I got to do so many things for the first time that I wouldn't have done it at mainstream college. It was just incredibly valuable to me as a person. But obviously, academically as well, I found that I thrived at New College Worcester because I got that more one-to-one support from the teachers as well. Because obviously, then that enabled me to not worry about how I was going to access the lessons. It actually enabled me to focus on the actual material of said lessons and doing well in my GCSEs and A-levels. So yeah, at A-level, I studied history, psychology, sociology, health and social care, and I did an AS of sociology as well. And I did well, I wouldn't like to say I did very, very well, but I did well enough to actually get to a university. So it truly was wonderful to actually have that enablement to actually go and study elsewhere as well, because obviously that was put in place at New College Worcester. I actually studied health and social care and I went on to do a master's in mental health, wellbeing, resilience. Well, I left university in 2023 and I've recently been on the Thomas Pocklington Trust's Get Set Progress programme, which is where they give you 9 months of paid employment support, or an internship they call it, and that's given me so much more experience than I would have gained from previously actually accessing. My journey through getting searching for employment was a bit hard, to tell you the truth, as if it was quite a discriminatory process. But I was able to find support through various charities. I mean, I gained support from what I got in New College Worcester, but obviously I gained support from the Thomas Pocklington Trust and through the RNIB also, with regards to employment support. Now, obviously that gained me a position on the GSP programme, or Get Set Progress programme, and now I'm getting interviews everywhere and anywhere, to tell you the truth. I've just applied for a job with Guide Dogs just now, and it's incredibly gratifying knowing that I wouldn't have got that if I didn't go to New College Worcester in the first place. So yes, and obviously I'm living with my partner independently at the moment. I'm now paying rent independently. I'm now living independently. I'm also cooking, obviously looking after myself and our household, which I've got to go do after this meeting. Obviously, I've got to go hoover, which is my least favourite household chore, but I can do it because I went to New College Worcester. So yes. Well, 11-year-old Jake would definitely be surprised at where I am now, because at first I didn't think even GCSEs were possible for me, and it was just. I mean, I've always been a bright lad. I've always been quite a academically gifted person, and having that hammer blow of losing my sight was it was hard, I'm not going to lie. And obviously I gained support from my local council, like one-to-ones and all that kind of thing at my mainstream school, but that just felt as if it was segregating me more from the class that was studying. And I found that once I got my GCSEs, I thought that, okay, that's good then, so I can do A-levels then, but that will be it for me. My form tutor at the time says, all right, Jake, so what universities are you going to be applying for? And then I was like, what? University? I can do that? And it's like, yes, you can, Jake. And it was just, and frankly, losing my sight quite abruptly like I did, it was, as I mentioned before, it was incredibly demoralising for myself. And obviously going to New College Worcester actually gained me that confidence within myself that I could go and do anything, to tell you the truth. And obviously I've gone on to do a degree, a first class degree, may I add. But I've also gone on to do a master's degree also, and now I'm working towards my dream job. So that's wonderful. It really is. To cut back to the original question, 11-year-old Jake would not have dreamed that 28-year-old Jake would be in this position right now. So yes.